I mean, do you think that the court case in that is really, you know, I've seen courts and governments decide things, you know, and it's irrelevant to what the truth is, and you know, they will just decide things on the political needs of the day, and I'm sure your family understands that very well. You know, so the way I understand it, there's a need for more than just the court decisions and so on. What do you think? I mean, yeah, what do you think is the way to go with it?
Could just explain exactly what's gone to court? You put in a native title claim.
Yeah, at the moment we've got the Swan River People Claim 2, and they rejected it before because of the boundaries colliding with Hewitt, and Swalt successfully brought in a claim. They knew we was putting in a claim. We're not, Swalts don't represent us.
Yeah.
They're very biased, and we know that, and we've been this Swan River People Claim is we represented ourselves, and Albert Corona is the elder in this, and he's Swalts has rejected a lawyer for us to represent our claim, but we managed to get it this far, and I think with the help of Swalts, and the state government knows that we've got, there's a lot riding on this claim, because it'll blow the water out of what we think Swalts will start panicking, because they bring in a claim, they rushed in a claim, that I think that wasn't properly, it was a wrongful way for them to have an election and bring a claim in that we felt that was one-sided. And the claim was Wajek, and that word does not come from Noongar country. It comes out of the boundaries of Noongar country, and that means people with no land. I mean, how could Swalts bring in and have people that say that they got connections from here and around metropolitan area be on a claim that says people with no land, and it's from outside Noongar country. So our claim is who we are, Swan River people, and we will always maintain that, and I think they and the government, state and the government, will be watching us very closely of how this claim be accepted, because they know there is a lot riding on it, and there's things that Swalts don't want to be exposed of, and that's what I feel. They feel that they will be very cautious about this one of the people claim if it's been registered, and they know that we'll, come out firing and this and that. So what was done to us, there's got to be justice for us. And I mean, we've got the most strongest claim. I feel then because my father, through my mother's side, the Nels, and my great-grandfather was born on the Perth railway station, and connections at connections to Kings Park, and I mean Yellowgonga, and I mean it's very a very strong connection I've got from my mother, and I think that was the most important thing before my father died, that he wanted me to put my claim in because he knew that through me being part of this Swan River people claim, it will open the doors or bring down things that Swalce is very worried about. Because we'll have a big say then. Well, metropolitan is really the metropolitan area claim group. And I mean, that's what I think. I think they are very worried or scared at the moment because they want this $1 billion deal to hurry to rush through and extinguish native title. And at the moment, our claim is in the federal court, and we're not in a rush to, we'll just sit as long as we can.
So what's happening on the 23rd of October?
This is the Swan River people claim for the boundaries and things.
It'll be heard.
It'll be heard, and
but no decision's going to be made then.
I think it's the case that it'll come out in the thing because.
Is that the preliminary hearing?
Yeah.
On the 23rd.
No, I think it's the case itself. I'm sure.
Yeah, I think it's the case itself.
Yeah, because they had.
Yeah. Yeah, because our claim.
We don't know what the judge will say.
Yeah.
Because he might say, "Oh, I'll just make this a preliminary hearing." He might say, he might say, "I'm not going to hear it," or he might. Nobody knows, but Albert has to go along all prepared to argue the case that Swalce is wrong in.
And also, I think it was because we got rottenness on our claim, and it goes just beyond rottenness because that's where the Swan River Canyon is. That's before it went underwater. But right out there, and they're a bit worried that our claim just went past rottenness. So there's a lot for them to think very hard. Because we got proof and
so it gives it talks about Rottnest Island.
Yeah, and brings from Rottnest and other places. So they.
We think as well those canyons we do British oil mining, oil drilling companies.
Yeah, they want to go down and
I
drill.
don't know if you remember, it was on the front page of the West Australian about, 3-4 years ago or more, 5 years ago, wouldn't be more than 5. And it just showed these underwater photographs, like the old course of the Swan River. It's bigger than the Grand Canyon.
Right.
Yeah, it goes right past there, and that's where they reckon, we know oil companies are interested everywhere,
Yes.
in other words, but they are certainly down the coast here.
Absolutely. And like I was saying to you over the phone the other week, I think, Margaret, I'm pretty sure there were reports in the West Australian years back of like a lime mining company or something. They mine an ingredient for concrete.
Lime.
I think it is lime, but I'm not sure. In the seabed off Perth, somewhere off Coburn Sound or Perth or somewhere. Yeah. And there was a big discussion by the West Australia, the Conservation Council, that it was destroying the seagrass beds there. So, that claim has a lot to say about, it could make things difficult for them.
And we also the Rottnest Island Death Group. So Rottnest Island is very important to us. What happens on the island?
Yeah.
So
sure.
We got my father and the other elders got authority from family members whose family that perished over there. They gave permission for the island. Rottnest Island Death Group to be caretakers of to be the voice of them people that perished over there. At the moment, there is no group that talks on their behalf to protect their graves over there. than us, the Rottnest Island Death Group. I mean, we're over there trying to protect where they got their campings there. Where they're camping is where all those prisoners is all buried. I mean, it's a very, you know, they, I mean, as Australia's got, you know, the soldiers over there in other countries, and you know, over there, what's on Rottnest Island is they are elders. They're tribal men. I mean, they come from all over the country. I mean, they didn't ask to be put over that island to perish in a dreadful way and die. I mean, they're lawmen. I mean, very, very tribal lawmen. And for them to suffer a dreadful death and leave them there on an island is no human being should be put in that predicament. I mean, you know, they've got soldiers going into other countries and things, and you know, fighting in wars, but it comes to them and they are real lawmen, tribal, and they shouldn't have been mistreated and left in dreadful conditions. It's supposed to be, Australia supposed to be, you know, a country of it's a freedom of, you're supposed to be freedom of choice and things here. It's here that these dark secrets is that they don't want the outer world to know that Australia is a racist themselves. And that's what I find, you know, Pinjarra massacre, and you hear all these stories and things. I mean, you know, Australia should look in their own backyard, because these are the very harsh reality of racism here. I mean, you know, you could talk about other going over there and killing. I mean, what they did here is unforgivable, you know, to Indigenous people. And you know, that's why I feel very, very thing about that.
And you know, that when that Rottnest conference was held, there were elders from throughout the state. Every lawmen and elders came down for their, you know, to respect their dead and to try to make plans and come to decisions on what should be done. And to this day, they made, I think it was 4 main decisions and 2 other ones. And to this day, none of those decisions have been acted on by Rottnest Island Authority or the government. And you know, people can still walk over the graves. Was it last year, fella, when SBS went over there?
Oh, SBS, you did a story on Rottnest Island. You know, we went over there. And, I forgot her name. She did a story about the
Was it aired on TV? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was on TV twice. And what was it called on SBS? What did she call it now?
Can I just ask, how many houses were on the Lockridge, and how many families were kicked off? How many people lost their homes?
I think there's 14 houses,
Right.
and the entire families of those houses was all made homeless in 2003.
And so was that, what, 40, 50 people? Roughly?
Yeah, roughly, and you know, women and children, families.
Are you all scattered now, or have you managed to stay together somewhere? Or
Scattered. I lost 2 sisters by being homeless. 2003, I lost 2 sisters to the homelessness on the streets of Perth, living on the harsh streets of Perth.
so when they took you out of the community, they gave you no alternative. They just said you're out and that's it. They didn't say
Any other accommodation?
They didn't give you any other accommodation. They didn't give you any.
When we left Lockridge, we went to Saunders Street because I think Saunders Street had 3 houses, but Saunders Street only could cater for a certain amount of people, and the rest of the people that was made homeless sort of drifted into town, and that's where they stayed from 2003. And
What, just living on the streets?
just living on the streets as homeless people. When sometime in the night when it's like raining and things like that, they'll either go and spend 2 days or 1 night at a relations and then end back on the streets. I mean, they still continue to do that. Homes West only housed three of us, and I lost 2 sisters living on the streets of Perth.
They each had 4 children.
They left 4 children. My younger sister, she died before she could realise that she had 2 grandchildren. So they died of a young age group. So.
And the first, can I say about the first death? Really?
Oh, purely.
Because nobody even knew she was sick when in hospital. And I answered the phone, and I put Ella's father onto the phone, and the doctor said, come in quick, come into Charlie Gardner's. And we had a mobile then, and we rang Bella as we were driving, rang Bella and rang the other people who had phones to come into the hospital.
Yeah, because they put me over in Belden, and they put the other sister away in Clarkson. So they split you up, distance wise, to get you out of the Lockridge, Lockridge area. Just Casuarina. They sort of just, sort of spread you far distance away from the boundaries of Lockridge. I mean.
Then everyone from those places rushed into the hospital, and it was just too late, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was too late when I got there. My sister passed away, but I was there for the last one, Kerry.
Yeah.
And
but that first one, the doctor told me everyone was really devastated. That they hadn't even known she was sick, because if she had. At the community, everyone knew if somebody was sick, and there was a system that people worked out. Barry was the bus driver. We had a community bus. We got Lotteries Commission grant in about 2001, and that vehicle's still going. We've maintained it. It's still going now. And
I mean, she had her own home.
And they could have. At the community, if somebody was sick, everyone would know, and so somebody would say, oh, so-and-so's got to go to hospital or to the doctor, and people would have picked it up. Whereas as it was, she just collapsed on the street. We don't know how long she was there. It was right near here. And we don't know how long she was there before somebody saw her, and before 7 in the morning, and took her into hospital. And,
I mean,
and the doctor said to me, if we'd had her half a day earlier, we could have saved her. And so that means if she had been left at the community, people would have known she was sick and would have taken her. And so, I mean, it just makes me really bitter, because it's like murder to me.
Because I think that's murder, because you don't. Jeff Callop and Alan Carpenter used the media to attack the community and use the women and the children's position as like we was victims inside the community. Yeah. We was the poor souls that are going to be saved to get out. To rescue us from a community that was supposed to be filled with pedophilia. I mean, I felt that that was Jeff Callop and Alan Carpenter's attack was wrongful. I mean, he used us and the children as a tool